Have you ever looked into your dog's eyes and wondered, are you truly happy? We love our dogs. There's no question about that. We feed them, take them to the vet, even share our beds. But there's one mistake that so many of us, maybe even you, and definitely me in the past, have made. A mistake that seems small, but can silently shatter a dog's heart. Not because you don't care, but because you don't know. And that kind of unintentional hurt, it's often the most painful. I know, it sounds scary, but you're not alone. In this video, we'll walk through 9 things that almost every dog owner has done. And the beautiful part is, once you realize it, you can change everything. You'll see your dog happier, calmer, and more deeply connected to you. No money, no special training, just a little more awareness and a heart ready to listen. And if you want to join this journey of emotional healing for pets, don't hesitate. Hit subscribe. We've got so much more to share in the videos ahead. Now, let's begin with the first one. And it's one that, if left unchanged, might make your dog spend its whole life just waiting, in quiet loneliness. There's a moment you've probably lived through before. You walk into your house. Your dog runs up, tail wagging, eyes shining, full of life like the world just came back to life. But then, you kick off your shoes, toss your bag on the chair, and bury your face in your phone. And your dog, still standing there waiting for eye contact, a greeting, a gentle touch, gets nothing. Did you know, for a dog, every time they're ignored like that, it feels like their heart is being crushed. Many people think, I'm home all day with my dog. How can it be lonely? But physical presence never replaces emotional presence. To you, 10 minutes on your phone means nothing. To your dog, 10 minutes without you is a storm of isolation. And little by little, they learn you're not really there anymore, like 2 shadows passing by each other. But just 15 minutes a day, turning off your phone, sitting on the floor, looking them in the eyes and saying, "How was your day?" It could change everything. Don't wait until that sparkle in their eyes is gone to realize what you've missed. And if you're thinking, I'll make it up to them tomorrow with a long walk, then maybe you've never met a dog who's spent its whole life behind a door, never allowed to sniff new scents, explore, or simply be itself. Not walking your dog isn't just skipping exercise. It's stripping away their right to be a dog. Imagine someone locking you indoors for 2 weeks straight. That's how many dogs live for years, and when they start chewing furniture, growling, or barking non-stop, people label them as bad dogs. But really, it's a cry for help, suffocating in silence. Your dog doesn't need a fancy park, just a stroll around the block. A few minutes to sniff, to listen to life. That's enough to make their tiny heart feel like it belongs in this world. One of my favorite quotes is, "Dogs don't need a big world. They just need a world where they're seen." And that world starts with the leash in your hand. But sometimes, the very thing in your hand is what causes them the most pain. The leash. Not all leashes are the same. Many people, trying to stay in control, choose choke collars, short leads, or heavy gear, not realizing that every sharp tug hurts the dog's throat, spine, and worse, breaks their trust. A dog that's pulled and choked the entire walk won't look forward to walking again. You might not notice, but pain-based control makes them anxious, withdrawn, and afraid. A softer leash, a little more length, a patient look. These small changes can bring your dog closer to you. Because no leash is stronger than one built on trust. And when you understand that, every walk becomes a shared journey again. Even if you walk your dog properly, play with them every day. There's something else many owners unknowingly do. We pass on our emotions to them. You're stressed, you're sad, you're anxious. Your dog feels it all. But the heartbreaking part is, they don't know why. They only sense, my human is upset. I should stay quiet. I shouldn't bother them. And over time, they stop coming close. I once met an old man who'd lost his wife. He lived with his dog, didn't hit or yell, still fed it. But every day, he just sat there, silent, cold, the dog wanting to get close. Would pause, hesitate, then curl up in a corner. One day, the man dropped a bowl, and for the first time in months, the dog barked out of fear. That's when he realized it had been living in an emotional winter he didn't even notice. Dogs don't understand words, but they feel everything in your breath. Don't be afraid to be sad around your dog. Just let them know you still love them in the sadness. Because for a dog, lying beside you on your darkest days is a privilege. And sometimes, their presence is the only reason we get through it. But what happens if, on one of those days, your dog comes to comfort you, and you ignore them? Picture this. A dog gently brings you their toy, sets it on your foot, and sits, waiting for a response. You say, "Not now," and forget. The next day, it happens again and again until one day, it stops. Not because they stopped loving you, but because they learned their love no longer matters to you. Dogs don't need constant attention. They just need to know they're still part of your world. And if they keep trying to connect, only to be met with nothing, one day they'll stop trying. And that is the saddest lesson a dog could ever learn. There's something small, but deeply wounding, when you ignore a dog that's reaching out. Maybe just a glance, a nudge from their nose, a tiny paw on your lap, all saying, "I need you." But if you respond with silence, staring at your screen, they'll slowly go silent too. Neglect doesn't need to be loud to be cruel. It just needs to repeat. Once, then again, until your dog no longer greets you at the door, no longer brings you toys, no longer looks at you with shining eyes. Not because they stopped loving you, but because they believe their love is no longer needed. Maybe the deepest wound isn't being yelled at, but being invisible. There's a quote I love: "A dog doesn't need you to be perfect. They just need to know they matter." And if you want them to feel that, there's one simple, powerful way. Touch. A hug. A scratch on the head. A stroke along the spine. These are love letters in a language dogs understand better than any words. Physical touch doesn't just soothe, it heals. Dogs feel love through their skin. And when they're not touched, they don't just feel sad. They feel lost, unseen, unloved. I once met a rescue dog who wouldn't let anyone touch her for 2 months. But after just 1 week of gentle strokes each night, she began curling up in people's laps. That hug, just seconds long, softened years of hurt no words could ever heal. Don't let your day end without placing your hand on your dog's head. That simple touch says, "I'm still here. I still love you. But there's still one thing that can undo all your efforts to connect. Punishment. Done wrong. Maybe you don't use a stick, but you use your voice. You yell, you glare. Or worse, you lock them in a dark room and leave them alone in fear. Dogs don't understand punishment like humans do. All they feel is, I'm the problem. I made my human upset. I don't deserve love. And just like that, the one who trusted you most now fears you. Did you know? Every time you punish a scared dog, you're tearing down a bridge of trust it took them a lifetime to build. You don't need to be harsh to teach a dog. You just need consistency and compassion. Ask yourself, are you correcting them to help them grow, or just to release your anger? And if you've made a mistake, remember, dogs forgive faster than any creature on earth. All it takes is returning to them, gently placing your hand on their chest, whispering, I'm sorry, and you'll see it. Their eyes light up as if nothing ever happened. That's the miracle of unconditional love, a gift dogs give us freely, and we get the privilege of deserving it. Because no matter how many mistakes you make, no matter how busy life gets, your dog will still wait. Wait for you to come home. Wait for your touch. Wait for you to notice. Wait for you to forgive yourself and begin again. They will wait until their very last breath. But today, you know better. You get to choose to start again. Not with grand gestures, but with a soft heart that looks into their eyes and says, I'll do better starting today. If you're still reading this, I believe you're a special kind of dog parent. Someone willing to learn how to love right, not just with instinct, but with deep understanding. If these words touched you, click subscribe, not just to get more helpful videos, but so we can build a community where every dog is truly loved, in the simplest, most meaningful ways. You don't need to be perfect to be loved by a dog, but you can become their whole world, just by loving them a little better, starting today.